We're going to be looking at conditional probability. Conditional probability, we need to first talk about what is the actual definition. This is where the probability of an event, let's call it B, will occur given that another event A has already occurred. So we're talking about this as far as like on a standard deck of cards. I drew a card and then I did something else. It's not an or situation. On the last video that we were looking at when we were talking about the probability of events, it was generally an or situation. So I either had this or that. This is I'm doing it once and then I have a second event. So this is going to change how we figure out those probabilities based on that conditional probability. With that being said, there is a conditional probability formula in the sense that if events A and B are independent, so that means that there's first option is not going to affect the second option. If A and B are independent, then the probability of A then B equals the probability of A. And the probability of B A equals probability of B. Okay, and the reason why is because they're independent. What I do, so for instance, the dice is always a good one. When I roll that dice, the probability of me getting a 6 and then a 6 again is going to be the same as if I were to do the probability of event A. Whereas if you're talking about a deck of cards, the probability of me selecting a red card and keeping it in my hand is going to be different than the probability of selecting another red card, because I've already had that red card in my hand. My deck is no longer a 52. So that's going to change our probability a little bit. So this leads into the definition of dependent events. So definition of a dependent event is any event that's not independent technically, but this is where the probability of event A affects the probability of event B. So like I said, that card example, I took a card, I kept it, that probability is now changing my selection of a second card because I've already kept that card. It's no longer 52 cards that I'm selecting from, it's 51. So that does change a little bit for us. But before we get to that, talking about those specific probabilities and finding those numbers, let's first talk about determining whether an event is dependent or independent based on that formula we have there. Kind of a lengthy example, I know, probability, we have lots of words here. So the example, you have 1 red apple and 3 green apples in a bowl. You randomly select 1 apple to eat now, and then I grab another apple for lunch, for later. Determine if selecting a green apple first and randomly selecting a green apple second are independent events. So the first thing you want to do is you want to list out all of your options. So I've got 3 green apples. So I could have green 1 and a red. Green 1, green 2. green 1, green 3. See where I'm going with this? Green 2, red. Green 2, green 1, green 2, green 3. So the fact is, the green apples, yeah, you're technically selecting a green apple, but you have to differentiate between one of them. Say one of them has a bruise on it. One of them doesn't have a stem. You know, that's what's going to differentiate between 1, 2, and 3. So there is a difference there. But just something for you to note. So if I'm looking at this, here are all of my options for my different selections. Okay, so I got a total of 12 there. So this is going to help me out. So event A, the first event, is green first. Well, I can look at, since I have all my options listed, I could look at this and say, okay, how many have green first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, okay? So this is 9 out of 12. How many have green second? Again, I can physically count this. I just like using the highlighter just to kind of help differentiate for you. So green second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And realistically, then how many have green first, then green second? So this is green first was separated. We're just looking at it just as one event. Now P green first, green second, that is looking at it total. So this is going to be a little bit different of a situation. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I can just physically count those. So this one represents PA/B. This one's PB, and this one's PA. Well, based on that conditional probability formula, we know that it's supposed to say PA of B is supposed to equal PA. Well, and you could have it the reverse way too, if you're really looking at this. Well, PA is 9 over 12, PB is 9 over 12, but this event here is 6 over 12. So these do not equal each other. Therefore, this is dependent. They aren't the same probability like we showed earlier. The next one. So we'll actually look at some actual numbers based on a table that we have. So use the data to find the probabilities. This will have a couple situations with it. So let's say we've got exercise, cold, no cold, no exercise. So we're going to be looking at how to calculate these using the specific notation. So for part A, I have the probability of no exercise, then no cold. What we do to figure this out is we take the no exercise and no cold category, and we divide it by the first category total. Sorry, not the first category total, the second category total. So in this situation, I have no exercise and no cold. So I can see here that that's 2. The no cold total is 30 plus 2. So I have 2 over 32, which ends up being 1 over 16. And then I do that same thing with this probability. Similar concept. Let's go the reverse way. So we have no cold, no exercise. So I still have that no exercise and no cold. But this time, this is going to be over the did not exercise, so the no exercise total. Okay, so I have 2 over 10 plus 2. 2 over 12, which ends up equaling 1 over 6. Now, the last part is similar to this, similar to actually what we just did on the last example. So our no cold and no exercise, independent or dependent. So the nice thing is we've actually already calculated P of A of B, and we've already calculated P of B of A. So now we just need to calculate P of A and P of B. So if I look at P of A, let's define which one's which. My bad. So let's say P of A is no exercise, and P of B is no cold. So P of A, no exercise, we would have, looking at this, the no exercise is a total of 12, and the total number of people is 50. So this can reduce down to 6 over 25. Now the no cold, similar thing. 32 over 50, which can reduce down to 16 over 25. Now looking at these probabilities, none of these probabilities are going to equal 1/6 or 1/16. So by default then, we know right now these for sure are dependent events. And that's just by looking at those probabilities. So conditional probability is mainly tied to dependent events. Doesn't have to be, but it's tied to independent or dependent events. And we're just looking at those different probabilities in that sense.